Welcome back to the Forensic Detailing channel, guys, or Unplugged channel. Don't forget to subscribe. We're doing some really interesting content here. I'm wiping off the labels and I'm going green and flipping them around just to create a different colour. So I'm cleaning them off and rewriting them. These three have got the Tolco big blaster heads on them, which are great. The rest of them have got these normal compass triggers, which are slightly less throughput. Interesting, I ran out of Koch Chemie FSE, so I thought I'd try the Carpro descale, you know, about 1 to 10 I think it is, whatever it says on the label, as just a descaler, to see if I could use it as an ad hoc descaler. It doesn't like doing what I need to do. It's not really like an ad hoc descaler, it's more like a sort of acidic shampoo. So I think you're better off foaming over the car with it and using it that way. And the results are pretty impressive, actually. It's a good product, but it doesn't work very well as a ad hoc descaler. You know, like I've got a water spot, spray it on, wipe off the water spot. No, it's more subtle than that. It's like for reviving, you know, it will loosen off mineral spots and that, but not those real heavy ones. Like FSE just eats them up. So I need to find really like a descaler product that that is like FSE but without the silicon in it, you know, because that contains PDMS, you know, like a layer of glossing agent, if you like, that's with the acidic kind of cleaner solution, which is fine if you spot water spots after you've washed the car. But if you get them during the prep process, you don't want to use a product that puts silicon down. So I'm going to try some other ones. I want to try the Auto Smart one. Someone recommended that to me. Silas said it was really good, and I bet if it's Auto Smart, it'll be quite potent. So I'll get some of that and see if it does the job, and I bet it does. And if so, then that'll be maybe my replacement descaler for a bit. Yeah, so let's just get some of these back over here. I've just decanted what was in there and put the Auto Glim trim dressing in there, so I actually use it. And I think that's really a really good product. And when it runs out, I'll use the Maguire's one, because these will last me ages, you know, they just do. And then when that runs out, I can just mix down the Pearl, or I'll probably buy some more of the Auto Glim, I think, because I just like the way the Auto Glim is fire and forget. Fire it off into the wheel arches, blow it all around with a blower and you're done. Whereas the Pearl is a bit more spread, you know, and spread them, you know, over the area. You know, you wouldn't flood your engine bay with the Pearl and leave it, whereas you can with the Auto Glim one. So I think this is a dedicated one, but I'll always have the Pearl because I could use it, I can use it on my leather. It's very versatile. I can use it on the tyres and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's all good. Let's just put this back down. Have I talked about these? So I've prepped my panel over there and I've got those products ready to go on. I'll probably put them on today or tomorrow and just leave them overnight to fully cure off. We're in no rush to get that one done. I'll do the pricing tonight. So what we'll do here is just a little spritz of this on there. A little spritz of that on there. And, oh God, how many of these have I got? Little spritz of this on there. I've run out of TARDIS as well, so I'm using EU as my tar and glue remover. So let's just clear these down. Clear these out the way so can you see what's going on here. Right, let's get these wiped off. Built Hamber cleanser fluid. Oh, I need to be careful. End up wiping them off and forgetting what's what. So the Built Hamber cleanser fluid is a very important little product for me because not everything can be cleaned by like the water miscible panel wipe. Like a solvent pen, for example, the normal panel wipe won't touch it. So I find myself reaching for the cleanser fluid all the time. If you do metal polishing, a water-based panel wipe won't clear up the mess, but the Built Hamber panel wipe will, so it's quite handy to have that. It's handy enough that I don't think I could be without it. Right, where's my pen? here. So that is, what is that, guys? Come on, you're supposed to be paying attention. That's trim dressing. Trim. We get the writing good as well. Dressing. Ah, was that good enough? No, it's not. Do it again. Do it again. Terrible. Come on, John. Good writing. Trim. I have the writing of like an adolescent child. Dressing. Should really make a better job of this. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Oh, my legs are aching as well. I was playing tennis the other day. That's not good. There we go. Next one. Descaler. We'll just call that. So let's just chat as well while I'm doing this. I'm not good at multitasking, but we can chat. Descaler. ER, isn't it? Sounds like it might be AR, but descaler will do. So things are chugging along okay with the channel. We're having to work hard to keep it going. Tough times at the moment, isn't it? Tough times for YouTubers, especially. I think views, long format views, are down across the board. And normally it's quite a good, busy time of year as well, but it's a lot slower this year than it was last year. It seems to be getting progressively less views on long format. YouTube trying to compete with TikTok, you know, with short format and all that sort of stuff. And what we do really here on the channel is a very niche set of content, isn't it? It's not kind of the thing that the audience is mainly kids on YouTube around the world, isn't it? On tablets and things, you know, they've got time on their hands. And this is for a niche audience, so you have to accept it's going to be a bit tougher. The hell's that? What is that, guys? I think this is Built Hamburg QD, isn't it? Yeah, recognise a little sweet smell. So yeah, you have to just recognise that. You can't. You also can't cry about it, because it's not just YouTube that's hard. It's everyone going out working, you know, normal jobs that are feeling the pinch. Mortgage rates high, bills, utility bills higher. You know, everything at the moment is really tough. It's tough economic times for everyone. So you've got to just, when the going gets tough, you've got to work harder. So we're trying to do that, you know. So we'll just call this QD 1 to 9. I know that means it's the Built Hamburg one. And I tend to use it when I'm drying a car. Although at the moment I'm really enjoying using some Colonite products that are just knocking my little socks off. Just finished testing. I've got to shoot the video still. Some products for Ram. He's got an ink and dye remover, which is, I might have talked about in other videos, but I finished testing it now and it's worked. It's done its job, but it doesn't. The catch is it doesn't do its job quickly. It takes days and days and days, which some of you will think, ooh, that's interesting, but there's a reason it takes a long time. Because if it doesn't take a long time, there's consequences which are quite severe to the condition of your leather. So that's why that's the interesting talking point of the main video when I shoot this. So I won't spoil the surprise and talk about it now. But yeah, that's interesting. He's also got like a year-long leather coating. It's not a ceramic coating. It's a polymer kind of sealant for leather, if you like. I've put it on and it's fine, but it's just, how do I test it? I'm not sure. I don't think I can. Not unless you get one of those Martindale test machines, and I haven't got access to those. So I don't know really. I can't really do much with that, but could be a good one in the future. Might have a word with Bert and Ian, see if they're interested in doing it. But the problem is we did all that a long time ago. Actually, we borrowed the Martindale test machine off Colourlock all that time ago, and did this massive load of testing for it. Nowadays, I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, we were so enthusiastic back then. We would have done anything to test anything, but it's not sustainable to go and get equipment like that to test products. You know, that to do videos that make like £10. You just can't. So it is what it is, unfortunately. With certain things in detailing, you just can't go mad with the testing. So that's we'll call this Rinseless. Rinseless. It's not O and R, it's McKee's, which is fine. While you're here, we will do another Rinseless comparison, because there's so many more new ones to the market that are concentrates. It makes for a good test, doesn't it? So we will do it. Providing no one else does it in the next month, because I've just mentioned I'm going to do it. But it could be a good mega test, I think, where we do it properly. So but don't know. I'm interested. The reason I'm interested is because there's lots of new products, and I get to try all those new products and stuff like that. So it's not just dull. I hate the idea of doing a mega test if I know the products, you know, and I'm like, well, I know this already. So I love a nice fresh lineup. But my opinion is it ain't going to really make much difference which Rinseless you use. They don't clean that well. Despite, I don't know if they don't claim to, but they don't degrease. You know, if you've got a pile of dirty grease on it, you're not going to use a Rinseless. Use a Rinseless to clean a car, because it's an alternative to using detergents that hopefully won't scratch the car when you make contact. But there are downsides to Rinselesses. What the hell is this? Waffling away. What is this? Is that panel wipe? Yeah, that's panel wipe. It smells like vodka. Okay. So yeah, panel wipe. The industry tries to get you to use Rinseless for all types of things that it's not very good for. I don't think it's a very good glass cleaner personally. I don't think it's a very good wheel cleaner. I don't think it's a useless pre-wash. It's an alternative to contact washing with shampoo. That's the way I see it, and that's probably the way I'll always see it. And the downside is when you're reliant on contact washing, you miss bits. That's the thing that no one talks about, the downside of contact rinseless washing your car. You miss a bit. You've got to get in every nook and cranny with the little brushes delicately. You've got to wipe every panel and use that contact carefully, and then dry it carefully. And it doesn't degrease, so when you're drying a waterless or rinseless washed car, it feels all slimy and horrible, especially in the summer. So when you're using detergents, the paintwork feels lovely when you're drying it. It's all clean and silky. It's like I said, it's like having a shower. Shower's good and you get all the shower gel on you clean yourself. A waterless wash is like getting a damp flannel and wiping under your armpits and your butt crack, and you're still sweaty and horrible afterwards. So you need to have a shower. There's no replacement to having a shower. So yeah, that's how I feel about it, but we'll explore it and see if we can do some tests that might prove me wrong, but I'm not wrong, because it's just my opinion of using them, and that's just, what I think they're like to use. But I'll always have one, so I'm not anti them, but I'd much rather bust out the old pressure washer, snow foam the car down, do the contact wash after that. The pressure washer does so much pushing for you. It's really important. So let's take that off. last one. So yeah, that's what's going on. Got some interesting stuff to come as always on the channel. Let's just finish this off, and we've got a couple more things to clean here that I want to show you. Come on, bloody thing. Don't know, I'm clear. I could just leave it, but it would bug me that the ink was on the other side. It'd bug you as well, I know. This is called cleanser fluid, isn't it? Cleanser, not cleaner. Cleanser fluid, not cleanser polish, but cleanser fluid. Right. I do think this IK system is nice, isn't it? They're reaping the rewards for reaping the rewards. I've criticised all this IK stuff. I think those pump sprayers, they're all right. First few times you use them, you've got to maintain them. You've got to keep swapping those filters out. They're such a pain. I would never use one of those if I wasn't doing YouTube, because it's great when you've got it all pumped up and you can just go to a clip and you're like, okay, so now I'm doing this here. It looks great, but the reality of all that pumpage, I'd never use them outside of YouTube, personally. These I probably would. They're not the best though. They've not thought about all the ergonomics. When you're filling them up and you're carrying them around like this and they want to get out of your hands and you haven't got these things on the top. They're not the best bottles, but they look so good, don't they? Now, let's just take our fallout remover one. And if we go down here, oh, I've got two more to do. Damn it. Damn it. I'll do those in a bit or you're going to die of boredom. You're going to die of boredom. Just get some chemical. When the chemicals sort of leak out the bottle, and they also sit in the bottom of these bottles, which is another thing that annoys me. They get caught in the little bits underneath in there and dribble out slowly afterwards, so you get this. Some of the chemicals can promote corrosion in steel, like this, like we're seeing here. So when you've got, what is that? That is FeO2, that's our rust. So what does this stuff do? It dissolves rust. So good way of getting rust off of steel. It's a fallout remover. So you get a little film of it. I don't want to use a good detailing brush, that's all covered in slime. That'll do, it hasn't been used for a while. See already, look. But if I'm not trying to get it off, I'm just trying to make a film of the fallout remover, so it's like a constant film. That's it. Just leave that in there. It's going to take a few goes to get all this up. But you can see it's lifting the rust off of the surface, even with this brush, just gently. What happens though is this chemical will run out of charge. You're probably thinking, what is he talking about? So you use or you spend the chemical as it reacts and turns purple. So it can only do so much, and then you're gonna, once that reaction's happened, it won't react anymore and you're done. And in fact, it'll dry out and it will reverse back into rust, and I'd have a lovely gold film over this car. So by just keeping it wet, I'm putting new chemical on the little bits of rust, so it'll keep going. But at some point, I need to get all of this wet purple up, and probably now is a good time to do it before it dries. What I'll do is I'll take this cloth here, which is wet, and we'll just get it up, if you pardon the pun. So we haven't got all the rust up, but we got a lot of it. And now, what we can do, what do we do now, guys? What do we do? What do we do? Come on. What do we do? You've been watching for a long time. What do we do? We go again. And we put the chemical on again. And it's fresh chemical. And we spread it. Got a little bit still on the brush, but that's okay. And we just let it react again. Just give that a few minutes. It's not going to dry. While that's going, we'll take this one off. Doing this all with one hand. And this one off. Oh, cleanser fluid. This down here. Quick. So this is water. This one's Atom Mac. I'm impressed these cards haven't cracked and like broken. You'd think they'd be knackered by now, but they're not. So water, Atom Mac, water. Atom Mac. Atom Mac. Atomic. Not sure why they call it that, but it's kind of cool. There'll be a reason. Come on, get in there. You. There we go. Water. The card's not as flexible for some reason. Get in there. There we go. Right, back over to our fallout. Okay. It's coming up. It's coming up. It's working. It's interesting, isn't it? When you understand how these chemicals work, you can see why you need the contact, though, because just shrinking that rust isn't enough. And like when you agitate it, you take off the top layer that's dissolved, you expose more of the rust underneath, and then that starts to dissolve. So you're just using the chemical. But what you don't want is forever for this fallout remover to dry. You could use something that's a bit more aggressive. So let's just wipe that back. So you're not going over it you're not having to go over it, but trying to take that rust off with abrasion, it's not good. Not on a nice surface like this, brushed steel. So really, what should I do? What do we do next? We go again, but we're not going to, because even I'm getting bored now. So what we're going to do is put these back. That's clean enough. So we'll start my APC. That's just Surfex HD. Let's get these bottles. Let's get the triggers in the right place. Yeah. Then we've got our citrus, which I think is a nice chemical to have, but you don't really need it. You don't. It's nice though if you got, if bugs are a constant issue for you, you get bugs all over your car, then a really good citrus I think is very effective at that. Just getting rid of those bugs a bit better than APC. What do we need next? So these are all like cleaning chemicals, so I want more cleaning chemicals really that are used during the wash process. So I'd have descaler probably next. Yep. Actually, it'd be fallout, and then it would be tar and glue, wouldn't it? Would be there, because you would use that possibly when you're deconning, but you'd use that during the wash, so that would go there. That's interior. That would be part of the wash. That's really a specific cleanser that I use it now as an ad hoc kind of thing. Very handy though, so that will go back towards the end. That, I very rarely use this Atom Mac. Once I've finished it all up, which will take me a lifetime, because you get so much, I won't probably get any more. Well, maybe, we'll see how it goes. I'm not into keeping my brake discs, rust free after the wash, because I'm always driving the car. So it's a step too far, but some people are, and there's nothing wrong with that. So it's whatever you want for whatever works for you. Don't do things because other people do them. Do them because it works for you. QD. That can go there. Rinseless, yeah, you could argue that that will go, should be down here somewhere, but I'll put that there. That makes kind of logical sense to me. These bottles need to be aligned a bit better and tweaked. Trim dressing, that should probably go down a bit there, further there. Good old panel wipe. That's Scotch seal. Mixed down about 1 to 4 probably. And then good old H2O, because a lot of times you need water for various things. Water is very handy when you're testing, it's very handy when you're detailing a car, spritz of water for all sorts of things, very handy for watering down any water-based product that you might have applied that's left some residue or something, then water just breaks it down. It's like one of the most important things to have in a spray bottle, but it's not, you won't find all that many people with it for some reason, because they, you know, they've been sold on products to do the same thing when really, you know, that's all you need. That's DI water as well though. So that's a bit better there, isn't it? That's a little bit better. I'm just letting those dry off. That looks wicked. I love all this. Right. Okay, that I just need, I'll put that up there. Area balls. I can't really see myself ever using that, but it's too big to send off to a patron, it will leak. So I'll probably just dump it, you know, as in use it all, overuse it so I get through it quickly. Interesting, like, so, you know, here's something that you might find interesting. I really wanted just to have all my chemicals that I need down here, you know, with the exception perhaps of abrasives and polishes, you know, and sealants and all that. And I've ended up with like 3 shelves of stuff. So, you know, what could go? Well, I've got 3 different sets of abrasives there. Boom, Scholl, Rupes, Koch, they're running low, those Koch. And then all my AOIs and primers and things over here. Yeah. Interestingly enough, I don't have a glass cleaner, so when the Atomac goes, I'll probably transfer the Traceless in there and use that because it's so good. You know, I've been using panel wipe up until Traceless came out. Yeah, no, I wouldn't. These Koch products here, I probably would never use, or so, you know, I say would never use. I'd use them, but they're just pipped. This is fine, you know, it's fine. It's just a mild foamy thing. It's fine, you know. But yeah, once I've used it, I probably won't be buying any more. This is great, it's great value, but Surfex I think just edges it, but there's not much in it. This is probably the next best APC on the market, and it's equally as good. It's just not quite as powerful, doesn't pack as much punch. That's useful. That I don't particularly, it's okay, probably won't keep that. These 3 products from Built Hamber, if I had to, someone was saying that Touch On was like the worst product from Built Hamber out, you know, out of all of them. That's coming from someone that was a Built Hamber fan. It wasn't coming from a hater. There has to be something in the range you don't like. And they were saying Touch On they like the least. I like Touch On. I think it's a good versatile product. I don't like it in a bucket. I don't like any of it in a bucket, but spraying it on and you're using it as a rinse, spray and rinse, fine. These products I find I use less. I don't use the Hydro Wax. That's the cleanser polish in there. I took it out of that metal bottle and used this bottle because it looks a bit better. That's the polish. So cleanser polish, Hydro Wax, microfine. Yeah, the problem with that is it doesn't feel like an abrasive. It feels more like a solvent wax kind of cocktail, you know. You know, and the Hydro Wax is very much like extra gloss protection from Autoglym. There's nothing wrong with any of that, but it's just, I think these wax emulsions now, like Colonite, I was saying, you know, are also the 845. It's a bit like Colonite 845. But they've moved on. So like Colonite have moved on. And I think these type of products are just better than the older school products. I think there's almost legs in that for a video, I think. Interesting. Yeah, it comes down to personal preference. You might love a good wax and you might love a good solvent wax emulsion we were talking about the other day. I've got this little preference for machine applied emulsions that I really like if they're nice to buff. These thicker emulsions like Black Hole and stuff like that. I think they're slightly better than these old solvent dissolved waxes, which can be a bit greasy and a bit harder to sort of buff. Might be some legs in comparing something like Hydra Wax or Extra Gloss Protection, because that's like the classic one, to these new products. And it's interesting as well, isn't it? Because Extra Gloss Protection in Autoglim's line, Autoglim have now made the step and they've got the Rapid Ceramic Spray. Colonite have now made the step and they've got the Rapid Ceramic Spray. I think Bill Hamber probably need to make that step into that sprayable ceramic spray. You know, there's a lot of negativity around ceramic sprays, that it's a lot of BS and marketing. There is, but quite simply, if I had 10 of you in a room, you know, if I had the chaps from Autoglim in the room, the chaps from Colonite in the room, Pete from Built Hamber in a room, and I could demo why I think these products are fantastic to them and what the advantages and disadvantages are, well, I think they'd already know. Not much I could tell them, but it'd be interesting to see what their opinion is and why I think these modern water-based products are a little bit better. It's mainly around that sort of little greasy wax film that you can sometimes get with like hologramming and from that sort of like stuff that's left behind, and also the what I talked about, the hazing of moisture build up on carnauba based products. When it gets hot and it's humid, all the moisture collects on the surface. So if I used, it could happen with the Colonite product, it could happen with the Built Hamber product, it could probably happen with the Autoglim product, well, I haven't seen it, but it happens with waxes with carnauba in it, and the moisture sticks to the carnauba, and then you get this white film, and you've got to go and just detail spray it and buff it off, which is, you could look at it and just say it's nothing, it's no big deal, just buff it off, or it could be a disaster to you because you've got your car nice, you've done that, it's out of the way, and then you've come back in and now you've got to do work on your car again to get it nice. So that could happen to you, and that could be, right, I'm not using that product again. So there's a reason that the modern products are, you know, might be better to someone, that they don't do that. Yeah, I don't ever get that with a sealant either, like Ultralot Plus. I'll tell you one advantage of carnauba emulsions in solvent, they last for donkey's years. I remember I had a bottle of extra gloss protection that was in my little orange container. If you ever watched the channel right back at the start, that orange container I had when I was a kid belonged to my dad. I had a bottle of extra gloss protection that I must have had for like 15, 20 years, and it was still fine. So there are advantages, whereas this product could spoil in a year, potentially, in my opinion. You have to be careful. So there you go. I hope you found that conversation interesting. I'm going to be doing a review of this soon, which is up my street, but is the product good enough? I don't know. I just saw it when I was buying all the other products and thought, ooh, that looks like it's up my street on paper. Even though chemical guys aren't very popular, I don't care. I don't care about that whole scene, what you think is a popular brand and what isn't. I just look at the product and see if it's what I want or not, what I'm interested in. Yeah, they've got quite a few though, chemical guys, haven't they? It's probably one of like 15,492 glazes and 26,492 detail sprays that they've got. There you go, bit of humour for you. So that's 35 minutes of absolute waffle, but I feel more relaxed. and I feel like tomorrow I've got a clear plan of what I've got to do, which involves playing tennis in the morning. It's a tough life being a YouTuber. Very early though, I've got to get up early, get down there, play tennis for a couple of hours or an hour or so, get back down there, get showered, crack on with this, and try and get this video out. So this is something that's going to be very interesting. I can't wait. Sorry for that. I can't wait to get started with this. The whole reason I'm doing this is this product here. This is the whole reason. It's reinvigorated my love of this genre of products, and I want to see if that's as good as I hyped it up to be. Because I did that video, and that video, you know, it does impress me, this product. It really does. My gut instinct is none of these are going to be able to match it. That's my gut instinct. If they can, then that'll be interesting. There's a massive variance in price. So the first thing I will always do, and you hear me rambling about it, I will always do it, is get all these prices down, get my prices per litre sorted out, so then I can compare my apples with my bananas and my kiwi fruits and my dragon fruits. And I know then what each brand is trying to charge me for these products. Don't care, they're charging me X amount for X amount of chemical. That's what I want to know with these. None of these are dilutable. You don't mix them down with other things. So how much is it per litre? Most expensive one is going to get in trouble. Somebody was talking about that in the comments. I think that might... Well, actually, no, these two, I think. That's going to be the most expensive, isn't it? But this one's not cheap. That was cheap. Expensive. It's relatively... You don't get much of it. So I think this will turn out to be above average. I think that's okay. 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 And I think that's actually okay. So it'd be interesting. What's our average price for a sealant of this caliber, of this format? What's our average market price? I'd love to know that. And that's why when I do these videos, every time I do them, I do a test on ceramic shampoos now. £1.41. What's £1.41? That's the average cost per wash of a ceramic shampoo. Normal shampoo, 30p. Snow foam. I can't remember what the snow foam one is. I've got it there somewhere. So then eventually, when I finish, you could say to me, any detailing product, John, glass cleaner. And I'll go, boom. And that's pretty cool. To some people. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. You've cheered me up. My mojo is back. And I've got to wash this car again tomorrow. I'll do it in the afternoon. Yeah, I've just waterless washed the front, because you heard me moaning about little spots. It's a bit hazy and all that. I've just gently waterless washed it and just gently wiped it, because it was covered in this stuff. I haven't waterless washed that. But now it's okay, so there's no risk of it etching. Okay, guys, take care. Over and out. Doug.